Although man evolved from monkeys millions of years ago, it wasn't until the Victorian era that the theory of evolution was first put forward by a man called Charles Darwin.
People thought all animals arrived here unrelated. The world began and then came man, all perfectly created. But then someone looked up a tree and said that monkey looks just like me. So it really was a mystery what I'd learned in natural history. So I joined HMS Beagle, watched the eagle and the seagull. We studied rocks and plants, flowers, trees and bees and ants. Slept on hammocks without pillows, eating rats and armadillos, till I realised on reflection it's natural selection. Yeah. Natural selection means each animal evolved to blend with its surroundings. Changes were involved. So birds with different foods to seek seemed to have developed different beaks, and over time they'd modified, so just the fittest of them all survived. On the Isles of Galapagos I noted that giant tortoise had interesting shells, and I rode on them as well. Iguanas learned at swimming, and my new theory was winning. It all led in the direction of natural selection. My findings met with outrage from the Church of England and from me. The idea that we came from chimps questioned my own Christianity, but it was hard to disagree. Every species' new mutation had a perfect explanation. It seemed the world's inception must predate common perception, and in lack of adaptation is a fatal limitation. So each creature's imperfection over time gets a correction, meaning animal collections grow unique means of protection, and to fail nature's inspection means a media projection, which all leads to the detection of natural selection. Natural selection.
Intuitive, revolutionary. Ancient Rome is delighted to announce the launch of the all-new A-Book, the take-anywhere reading solution. A-Book is amazing. Up until now, the only way to get your poetry to the masses was by writing it down on long, awkward scrolls.
Or by shouting really loud!
Now, A-Book has changed all that. With new A-Book, you simply turn the page, using the unique turnable pages to reveal new information. And by writing data on both sides of the page, new A-Book holds more information in less space than anything that's gone before. What's more, the unique hardware and cover means your writing is safe from anything the Roman world might throw it in. Well, within reason. Incredibly clever, yet incredibly simple. A-Book is the new book that rewrites the book on writing books.
And coming soon from the makers of A-Book, another book.
Oh no, I just got used to using this one and now they're bringing another one out? Typical. It's funny.
Cutthroat Celts! Ah, we Celts were a fighting race, so you might be surprised to find out that we used to love a bit of poetry.
The greatest king in all the land, he ground his enemies into sand. He reigned supreme over the Irish, from lowly peasants to those more squirish. But there is one doubt, if I may sow it, he had few friends among the poets, for his name was Aid Mock and Marok, and none of them could make it rhyme.
Brilliant! You know what? I was going to have you killed after the poet bit, but you pulled it out the bag. Now, a piece of jewellery for your troubles. Anything in the room you have but to ask.
Well, I quite like the look of that wheel brooch you're wearing on your shoulder, sire.
What?
Well, you said I could pick anything in the room.
I didn't mean anything. No one may ask for the king's brooch. That is the most terrible crime in all the land. I'm going to have you banished from all of Ireland. No, scratch that. I'm banishing all poets from Ireland. Proclaim it to the kingdom. Go on, go on.
From this moment, all poetry's banned. Banishment to all who rhyme in this land.
What? That just rhymed. You're a poet. Banished!
I'd advise against that, Sawyer. Good heralds are hard to hire.
Ugh! A poet! Banished! Guard, arrest them all.
Who would you like me to chuck out first? Which did you think was the worst?
Banished! Right, that's it. I'm really through. Begone, the lot of you.
That rhymed. Those words you just spoke.
So they did. I'll get me cloak.
Today, on Victorian Word Battles, it's Charles Dickens versus Lewis Carroll, the authors of Alice in Wonderland and Oliver Twist going head-to-head in a word-off. Who can come up with the best new words? This is about to go down.
Messiness.
Burble.
Unpromisingly.
Chortle.
Fancy dressed.
Slithy... galumphing bandersnatch.
I'm sorry, actually, I let burble and chortle go, but slithy galumphing bandersnatch aren't real words.
Yes, they are. I just created them.
Oh, bah humbug!
Now who's making stuff up?
May we have our next contestant, please? Hello. Your name, please.
William Shakespeare.
And your occupation?
One that doth make words to dance upon the page, and thence into the ear of the throng.
I'm sorry, I don't quite...
I write plays.
Right, well, why didn't you just say so? And your chosen specialised subject?
Phrases, what I made up.
William Shakespeare, you have 2 minutes on phrases, what you made up, starting from now. To be or not to be, that is the question.
I know it is.
I'm sorry?
I know that's the question, you just asked me it.
No, the question is, did you make it up?
You just said the question was to be or not to be.
To be or not to be, that is the question, is the question.
Oh, yes, I see. Yes, I did make that up.
Correct. Good riddance.
I've only just arrived.
No, did you invent the phrase, good riddance?
Yes, I did.
Correct. Heart of gold.
Oh, thank you. That's very flattering.
No. Were you the first person to use the phrase heart of gold?
Yes, I was.
Correct. Dead as a doornail.
Oh, yes, that is one of mine. Henry VI, Part 2, the sequel.
Correct. Wild Goose Chase.
Oh, yes, that's mine. Are they still using that?
They are indeed. Correct. Knock, knock. Who's there?
No, that's wrong. You say knock, knock. Then I say who's there.
No. Did you invent it?
What?
Knock, knock.
Who's there?
No.
No, who?
No. Did you come up with the phrase, knock, knock, who's there?
Yes, I did.
Correct. For goodness sake.
Oh, that's one of mine too.
Correct. All the world's... I've started, so I'll finish.
No, that's one of yours.
Correct. William Shakespeare, at the end of that round, you have scored 8 points.
Sorry, is this what you do for entertainment nowadays?
Yes, it is, yes.
I think I prefer the theatre.
I think I prefer the theatre. Get out of the chair now.
Okay.
I lived a happy life till I was 10 years old, when death landed Dad in prison and our country house was sold. Lodged with a lady in her London flat so cold. Worked at a boot polish factory, labelling jars quite dull all told. Goodness only knows I was a miserable soul. For a time I went to school, but then I found a job as a clerk to a lawyer. Oh, it made my poor head throb. I failed to be an actor despite my loud gob. Ended up reporting speeches of the parliamentary mob. Then, as everybody knows, I started writing prose. Put my life into my books, friends and enemies and crooks, legal bosses up the crop, in the old curiosity shop, Fagin in Oliver Twist, a factory pal you get the gist. And although my memory
was an overnight sensation, but I drove myself too hard to enjoy the adulation. Despite my wealth, my family begged for money. I wrote of it in Chuzzlewit, which people said was funny. Didn't sell like books before, my family still asked for more. Little Dorrit is a tale about my dad in Devil's jail, while Hard Times tells my life about when I tried to leave my wife. Little Nell's death was my poor dear departed sister-in-law, and David Copperfield working in a factory. I must confess that was really me. In my life felt shame about poverty in childhood, wrote about sadness, suffering and fears. Also wrote about people with funny names: Bumble, Smallweed, Scrooge, Uriah Heep and Blackfoot Squeeze. Whilst writing Edwin Drood, train crash didn't help my mood. Still I drove myself on with readings far across the pond. Died before I wrote Drood's End, sort of thing drove me round the bend. So Dickens, take her, Dickens, take a bow. And heaven knows I'm miserable now.
And so, ladies and gentlemen, for one night only, would you please welcome to the stage Mr. William Shakespeare.
My name is Shakespeare William. I own the feather quill. I am the writer most familiar to you. My way with words amazes me. Came up with so many phrases me that still the number dazes me too. Oh, you gotta be cruel to be kind. If truth were known, love is blind. Yeah, each of these quotes you will find, it's what I do. Seen better days. That's one of his. Ah, salad days. He is the biz. All the world's a stage. They call me Billy Wills. May seem kind of scary, I'm a walking dictionary, sturdy with the wordy Shakespeare. Quality of mercy is not strained. Such stuff as dreams are made. Off with his head, my phrases you'll know. This is the short and long of it. Brevity is the soul of wit. As good luck would have it, you can quote. Oh, you suffered green-eyed jealousy. Please do not stand on ceremony. I wrote the Queen's English I wrote. It's Greek to me. That's a Shakespeare line. Meat and drink to me. He was the first to combine infinite variety. Yeah, that was one of mine. Don't call me flaky, I'm William Shaky. Not lazy with the phrasey Shakespeare. I was the greatest, I was ace. To find a better writer, that's a wild goose chase. I was truly brilliant, which is why I sing. You can't have too much of a good thing. If music be the food of love, play on. Et tu, Brute. Did you ever know? Forever and a day. From a Shakespeare show. Good riddance, fair play. Pure as the driven snow. High time lie low. Wherefore art thou Romeo, the nation's favorite bard Shakespeare. Doobie doobie doobie. To be or not to be. Shooby doobie doobie Shakespeare.
Gorgeous Georgians!
We didn't just have silly wigs in Georgian times. We also had some silly tax laws.
And now it's time for our fairy tale series, where all the stories are retold in different historical settings. Today, The Three Little Pigs, the Georgian version. And the wolf huffed and puffed and blew the stick house down. So the little pigs ran as fast as their little trotters would carry them to their little piggy brother's house, which was made of very strong brick. But this was Georgian times, and the little piggy in the brick house had bricked up all his windows so he wouldn't have to pay the new window tax, which meant he didn't see his little piggy brothers. And they were both eaten up by the big bad wolf. The end.
It's true. Many Georgian people bricked up their windows like this to avoid the window tax. We Georgians had silly taxes because we had stupid politicians, and we had stupid politicians because we had silly elections.
Ghastly, mean and cruel.